Good morning and welcome to Family Jewels. I'm Colton Bartell.
And I'm Audie Bartell.
And we are both graduate gemologists here at Susann's Custom Jewelers. And this is our first video that we're actually going to talk about something, I guess.
We talked about something last time.
Well, we talked about Savrite, but we were talking mainly about, I guess just a specific thing where we were having it cut here.
Well, we was talking about something, though.
Well, okay, I guess.
This is not the first something. This is the second something.
This is the second something. Okay. So, anyway, we're talking about something today. And that something is purple.
Yeah. So what we're kind of leading up to, I guess, is February's birthstone is Amethyst. And since we're almost right in the middle of February,
Pretty close.
a couple more days, whenever Valentine's comes around, we're right in the middle of it.
We are.
So Amethyst is a quartz that's always purple. Kind of various shades of purple, but always purple.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I guess one thing maybe that I don't know that we talked about last time, did we ever say what causes colorless quartz to be purple?
No. I don't think so.
So
I don't remember if we did or not.
So basically, isn't it iron that colors amethyst purple?
Yeah, I believe that's right, yeah.
So, which is kind of weird. You'd think. I don't know why I always think iron ought to be maybe red.
Yeah.
Which that sounds a little weird too, because when you look at iron metal, it's always a gray or...
Yeah, but then it rusts and it's like a reddish orange color, so you're like, okay, well then that would make sense. But whenever it's in some stones it's causing like a blue or a green or a purple, and you're like, oh, that ain't right. What is going on here? This doesn't make any sense. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
Because, you wouldn't... A lot of these, actually, you wouldn't expect them to cause the colors that they cause.
Yeah.
So, anyway, most of you have probably seen amethyst. Fairly common in the industry, between birthstone necklaces and earrings and rings and everything else, with it also being a fairly common stone in regard to being, in jewelry. It's fairly common. You can get it in fairly large sizes, a bunch of different cuts and shapes, and even carvings.
It occurs in a lot of different countries. I'd almost say every continent has multiple sources of amethyst. The United States does. I'm sure they find it in Canada and Mexico and. So
we know they find it in Brazil.
Yeah.
Bolivia. So, a fairly common stone. Still a really pretty stone. And it's one that a lot of people enjoy just because the color is actually really pleasing. There's a lot of those stones out there that may be a little bit more rare and expensive, but they're not the prettiest of colors.
Right.
And
this is almost like a royalty color.
It is
that deep purple or whatever. You see it on in capes and stuff that kings wore, queens wear, and
it's an official royal color.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
So we have a large. This is actually part of a geode. So this is not quite gem quality amethyst. It's color-wise, it's probably close.
Yeah, color-wise, definitely.
But it's got some inclusions in it and stuff, so it's not.
It's got a little bit.
Not really clean enough. But this would be just part of a geode, and I don't.
It also won't quite fit on your hand. This is to the point. We have a lot of ladies come in and they're try something on and they go, oh, it's just too big. I can't wear that. This is literally probably too big.
Yeah, that might be.
This one would probably, affect your driving. Definitely your eating.
I'm going to say it affect a lot of things.
Yeah. It could be pretty effective, if you got like in a fight or something like that. It might be a little bit more effective, but
well, I'm thinking if you wanted to build up muscle in one arm, even if you wore it as a bracelet, I mean, you still got.
Yeah, but I'm trying to think of how would I set this thing? I mean, the prongs would be massive. So, but yes, this is basically the open part of a geode, and he's about to trip behind me. Open part of a geode. So these are actually all terminated crystals. This is basically where the crystal has actually come to its natural point. And so actually pretty cool to look at, but you may actually be able to see in some of these, you have like this crystal here has like some little dark spots and stuff in there. That's actually the inclusions in there. And that's why this doesn't really lend itself well to producing the gems that we see being used in jewelry. And as you can also see here on the side, that we have rock crystal quartz here where it's actually colorless quartz. So these crystals are actually growing from this base here up. And so most of you have probably seen a geode as well. And this would have been basically an encapsulated rock that looked like this on the back, minus the glue there. And whenever you break this open, obviously you have these crystals inside. Citrine can do the same thing as well as some of the other quartzes. And sometimes you'll get larger crystals that produce nice large stones, or nice large rough that can be cut into larger stones, like this one. So we've got a nice little checkerboard cut shape here. So let me hold this up and kind of show you guys. It's got kind of a cool facet pattern on it. Really nice deep color and really uniform color. That's one thing that you can run into with some of the lower quality amethyst, is you'll actually have color zoning where it looks a little bit more like the side of this, where maybe it's kind of even sometimes even a smoky quartz or something like that mixed in with the purple, or it just kind of fades out. And it's just not overly attractive. Maybe makes the stone a little bit more unique, but not ideal. So what we wanted to do is we just want to kind of show you some examples of the amethyst, and basically just kind of let you see these different sizes and shapes. It's got this really nice one here that's got a nice deep purple to it, and sometimes you want these little red flashes in there that are nice. And that really high quality amethyst will have that. So something to look forward to whenever you're shopping for that amethyst piece. But you can get these in a bunch of different sizes and shapes. We've got a nice little marquise shape right here. An emerald cut. It's really nice. And then we'll get into some of the more unusual shapes where we have a trillion here. It's really pretty. And they're just fun stones to work with, because the other thing is too is, like we said, these are fairly common in the jewelry industry, and because of that, and because the crystals are typically fairly clean, fairly uniform, and large, these stones typically are pretty inexpensive as well. So like this one here, you got 1 3/4 carats basically, and it's $125. So pretty inexpensive. And then we have these little, this is another one of those kind of fantasy cuttings. This one actually has a hole drilled in it. Oh, and I'm going to drop it and throw it around. This is actually what's called a briolet. And they're a little bit hard to hold on to, but they have these little facets that go all the way around them. And they're pretty cool because we can kind of put a string through them or a wire through them and hang them, and then they can kind of move a little bit. I'm just going to keep dropping it. But then we have, like, this is a double terminated crystal, which is pretty cool. This one's got a little bit of an inclusion in it, so how it is probably how it's going to stay. I'm not going to have that really cut into anything, but really cool. This is probably the most unusual cut, and we talked last week when we were talking about Savrites with a friend of ours that's actually doing some of the cutting for us, and this is actually a piece that he cut. And this is one of his octagons that we really like. Really bright stones. The purple really jumps on this one, and just it's got like a nice sparkle to it, but the shape is just really cool. Not something you see on an everyday basis. But again, these are all fairly inexpensive stones. I mean, like this one's huge. This one's almost 28 carats, and it's $2,400. If you see that in like diamond, you're talking in a museum somewhere. But with amethyst, you can get fairly large stones. And so like this one, this is a 9 carat for $750. So you can actually get a nice big look fairly inexpensively with amethyst, and it still be a natural stone. So we've got like this ring here that actually my mom wears a lot. It's really pretty. This is done in yellow gold, has kind of an ornate, almost like grapevine look to it, which is kind of handy that it's got a purple stone in there to kind of mimic that. But they're just fun to play with. They're fun to design fashion jewelry around and things like that. One thing to kind of keep in mind is whenever you are looking for amethyst, like I said a little bit ago, make sure that the color is even in the stone. You don't want where you've got like little places where it kind of fades in and out. Maybe even goes gray a little bit. They're just not as attractive. Also look for stones that are really well cut. Because this material is pretty prevalent, there shouldn't be any lack in cutting. So if you're finding stones that are really pale, they're not cut well, they should be really inexpensive. But for just a little bit more, you should be able to find a stone that has really good deep color and even color and cut well. So just kind of keep that in mind when you're looking for them. The other thing is too is amethyst can be reproduced synthetically, basically lab grown, and with that process, it's through the hydrothermal process, and essentially it's kind of like when you were a kid and you did your science experiment and you mixed a bunch of sugar and stuff in a cup and with water, and you put a string in it and you made rock candy. It's kind of a similar thing. It's a little bit more complex, but very similar. And that's actually how this naturally forms pretty much. And so they do that in this hydrothermal process and start out with a seed plate, which is just a piece of quartz crystal, just a slab of it that's clear. And when they put it in this solution that's saturated with the right temperature and everything, the crystal starts to form and build off of that. And that stuff, it's very difficult to kind of separate if you don't know already. And so we try very hard to make sure that we are going directly to the source, like the mine source, to get a lot of these gems so that we know for sure that these are natural and not lab grown, because you'd hate to be overpaying for a lab grown stone thinking that you're actually getting a natural one. So it can happen, but it's very rare. We do a really good job of making sure that we're not buying from those sources where those could kind of sneak in. And so, and we do have ways that we can differentiate them. But just some things to keep in mind. It's a really pretty stone. If you do like purple, this is definitely the way to go. A lot of the other purple stones, that are out there are a lot more expensive and a lot more rare, and typically not near as big. So it's a really good stone to invest in if you've got somebody that has a February birthday or that just likes purple. Just because it's a birthstone doesn't mean you have to be born that month to wear it. Anybody can wear it. Contrary to belief, there's no fashion police out there actually issuing tickets, so wear it away. But anyway, if you guys do want to check out some more of these amethysts, we have a lot of them in stock here at Susann's. You guys can come check this bad boy out and hold it and really look at it and see how these crystals are actually formed. It's pretty cool. We actually have this on display pretty much all the time out front, so you guys can stop in. But if you have any other questions or comments, or you would like to know a little bit more about amethyst or any of our other stones, please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below, or give us a call here at Susann's 361-991-7565. And you can always stop by our website, susanns-jewelers.com, and right here on Facebook and our YouTube channel. So we thank you guys for joining us. Don't forget to subscribe on our YouTube channel and get updates whenever we post new videos. And like and share this video with some of your friends. And we will see you guys next week. We thank you for joining us here at Susann's for Family Jewels. We will see you next week. Bye.